name is Agatha. I'm a dual qualified lawyer from Brazil, and I work at the University of Lucerne as a project coordinator for the Choice of Law Dataverse. It was truly an unexpected honor to win the prize. It's always nice to have this type of work recognized, especially the work for open science and open research data. It's not something that most people in the legal science field see the value in it. Now I see more projects gaining momentum. Many people have reached out to me to say, oh, I didn't know it was possible to do open research data in law. And now this is an example. And I'm very proud that this is recognized by you. Let's imagine that we have a Brazilian party and a German party. They have to decide which law applies to their contract, but they don't know how to evaluate whether the Brazilian law is better for their situation or if the European framework is more appropriate. What do? You can consult the Dataverse and study the legal framework and make an informed decision. So my area specifically is private international law. And in order to study multiple rules from several countries, what we do is comparative law. And usually comparative law is still done in a very traditional way, regionally. And what we try to do in a digital realm is to prepare this compendium of rules from all over the world, not only rules, but all data points that would inform your analysis in a methodological manner. We have standards and parameters in a way that you can compare the data side by side. And everything's in English. It's free, which is also something quite rare for this type of information in the legal realm. Usually, if you're a lawyer, what would happen is that you would consult a page database and you would have access to that specific information that mostly only big law firms have the top level of access. And now it's available to anyone. And even if you're not a lawyer, you could learn a bit from private international law systems. So this is much easier. And we try to do it in a way that we respect these comparative law parameters. So the first challenge is data collection and the update process. We try to establish this global framework, and the quality of the data will not be the same. Though we have more than 100 countries already indexed in the Dataverse, it doesn't mean that the data doesn't contain gaps. And what we try to do is to engage the community of specialists to provide the latest developments in their countries to make sure that we have this useful repository, not only an X-ray of what the legal status quo is, but also something that is moving, because law is a living body in all countries. And the second challenge is precisely how to make this platform sustainable in the long run. We have overcome the main obstacle to create the database and have the digital resources and infrastructure to make it as it is today. So this was due to an interdisciplinary endeavor. And now we have to think of ways that we can keep this alive, digitally speaking. And it's not easy. So I come from the Global South. We have plenty of data for Europe, and it's much easier to understand any materials that are available in English, for example. But for half of the world, this is not true. And the difficulties goes to both sides. For example, if you are a lawyer in Switzerland or in another country that has a very consolidated system of legal framework in general, you have a hard time understanding what happens in the other side of the world. And the gap in terms of understanding and having access to this data was huge. And what our platform tried to do, and we endeavor to keep doing, is to engage professionals and scholars and practitioners and young researchers to make their research available in the choice of law Dataverse, so that we can equalize a bit better this status quo of data for Latin America, for example, or Africa or Asia. Demonstrate that these are very rich legal systems as well, very interesting, that we can learn from each approach in terms of private international law. Open research data, in my opinion, is the future for law. There is no other way around it. And nowadays we face a problem or a potential with AI, and we have to try to find the balance, how to incorporate this technology within the treatment of the data. And what I see is that there are many ways that we can make this useful to our researchers, as long as this is revised by humans first, and that the source of the information always comes from specialists, from people in these countries that would provide the data directly to us, and that we are not in a synthetic loop with AI.